Hi, I'm Mateo. Do you want to learn about hidden heroes? Hidden Heroes from A to Z is a cool book that tells the stories of amazing black heroes you might not know about. You'll meet inventors,
You'll meet explorers
and leaders who change the world. It's fun, inspiring, and you can learn so much. Get your copy now at hiddenhistorymuseum.com. Let's discover our hidden heroes together.
Welcoming everybody on in the room. Welcoming everybody on in the room doing a late night tap in. Getting the late night tap in popping. What's going on with y'all, man? Everybody pile on in this room. What's going on with you? We in here. Hope everybody's having a good week so far. Shout out to everybody who's staying up late, especially out there on the East Coast. Shout out to you guys. Just want to see what's on your mind while we go into the weekend pretty soon. Everybody pile on in. Red Joker, I see you. We're going to get started in a second. Before we do, don't forget we have a lot of great things coming up in the next few weeks. The microphone check, the new version will be out everywhere. We're just getting that together. They're getting the Blu-rays to us. We're getting those manufactured. Those going to be to you real soon. Also, we have an event at the Hidden History Museum Saturday, September 14th. September 13th is the release of the album from my production group, Flex Tro. The album is called Grinding for a Green Card. So we got a lot of tetherlicious songs on there. It's a real funky album, R&B/comedy album. Very funny but funky stuff on there. Grinding for a Green Card. You can get the pre-sales for the Grinding for the Green Card album. I think next Friday you can get the pre-sales, and we're gonna release another single. A lot of folks like Musty Tethers. We got another single we're gonna release next week, so y'all stay tuned for that. And again, y'all go to hiddenhistorymuseum.com to get your tickets. Well, we're gonna have the tickets up for sale in a couple of days, but y'all stay tuned for that. We'll have the tickets up for the event we're doing on Saturday the 14th. All right. What's up, Nikki the God? I see you, dear. So a lot of people are still talking about the Democratic National Convention. I'm seeing more performances that were happening there. Basically, it was basically, like I said, it was the BET Awards. They had Common perform. It was just a big Negro celebration of nothing. It was a big Negro celebration of nothing. And everybody's asking questions. A lot of people are saying that it didn't go over like they thought it was going to go over, because see, the Democrats, they didn't really recruit any new voters. This is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that big old plantation jubilee. Yeah, it got a lot of media coverage because the media, they're pretty liberal themselves, but that didn't garner any new voters or supporters for Kamala. They just kind of played to the crowd, played to the audience that's already there. They didn't get any new support. And a lot of people are saying, hey, man, after the sizzle is gone, we want to see what the steak looks like. There's a lot of sizzle and there's no steak. People are like, what's up with these policies? People are still asking questions. You're not going to wrap yourself out of it. You're not going to twerk yourself out of it. Some of these policies are devastating these black communities, and people have questions about them. So at one point, when the music turns off, people are like, okay, that was good. Now, what are we going to do about this immigration? What are we going to do about this homelessness? What are we going to do about this joblessness? People got questions. And I saw some stuff where they had like mobile abortion centers talking about free abortions and free vasectomies. Okay, no. That ain't it, man. That's what they want to give us. While they're giving all of these people tangibles and things like that, they're trying to give us free abortion and free vasectomies. They want to get our kids up out of here. Who was this person? A Nigerian scammer. You got an interesting name. I see you trying to get on. Hop on, Nigerian scammer. What's happening?
I just want to say Black Americans are cotton pickers.
Okay. And you're over here though. So what does that say about you? Okay. Yeah, you can say all that all you want, but you brought your little old musty self right over here with the cotton pickers. If it weren't for the cotton pickers, you'd be somewhere wiping your mouth with the camel milk that you done sipped on, wiping that camel milk off your mouth. So yeah, that's not offensive. You're over here. I don't know. Tethers try to throw insults to us about slavery and cotton. Yeah, we overcame it and stood on business. You got colonized, ran off your homeland, and fled like a biatch. So you can never say anything about us. Nothing is that bad. You think? You can't say nothing about us. We stood up to the slavery. We stood up to the cotton picking. And we stood on business. Your ass got ran out of your own homeland, and you got a flag of your homeland that you fled from in your bio. Like that means something. Tethers love putting up flags from places they fled from, trying to convince us how fly it is. Like, hey, kill me with that. What's that dude? The Timmy. What was his name? From Power. Rutimi. Yeah, up here talking about. Yeah, man, Africa. You go back home to Africa, you just breathe fresh air. Over here, you're breathing in problems. Well, nigga, why are you here breathing in all these problems? How come you're not breathing in all of that fresh air? Why are you not breathing all that fresh air? Why did y'all have to spread your bussy cheeks open to get a green card to get over here? Always trying to sell us on the Wakanda. Stop it. But I digress. Um, let's get Invader Zim in the building. Invader Zim? Invader Zim in the building. Well,
I
yeah.
just want I just want to say Black Americans are cotton pickers.
Okay, you're saying the same thing. Okay, that's okay. You just saying the same thing on the different accounts. So, okay, they got some new features here on this thing. Hold on one second. They got some new features here on X. How do I stop this thing? Okay. Hold on one second. Yeah, I'm looking at some new features they got on this thing. Very interesting. Okay. How do I do this? I done made some kind of mistake. I'm trying to get this thing going. Hold on one second. I'm trying to get this. Let's get Lando in the building. Lando, hop in. All right, Lando, what's up, brother?
Flex, can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's going on with you, fam?
Man, everything is good. I'm at the gym getting the workout in, trying to stay black and healthy. So I was watching an interview earlier that Trump did with some white guy, and which was interesting. It made me think. He was like, imagine if I didn't go on CNN, which he didn't want to,
Yeah.
didn't go and debate Biden with those two moderators he didn't want to. He was like, we wouldn't even be, they wouldn't have told us anything and said that Biden is not capable to be running this country. So it's like
I
if you go back and really articulate and just think about it, you like, man, the whole Democratic Party was finessing and not telling us anything what was going on with Biden.
I
And you didn't talked about it. I didn't talked about it. We seen he wasn't capable to run the country. So it's like if that don't happen, they're gonna let him ride, let him stay in, and it's interesting. What's your thoughts about that?
it's interesting, man. It's a very interesting dynamic. And again, man, with this race is just very interesting. There's so many twists and turns and plots, and it's just an interesting dynamic all across the board. I just can't really call it. There's so many new revelations going down all the time. Going back to the DNC, I saw an article and I reposted it earlier this evening. I wish my fat ass dog wouldn't be snoring so loud. I know that's very disturbing to you guys in the background. I got one of them big fat ass Frenchies to sit up like a Big nigga sitting up here snoring all damn night. You know, them Frenchies, they got breathing issues, so they're loud as hell. But there was an article Politico put out with some of these mammies up here at the DNC convention. They're up here talking about, what's the quote? It says, in Tim Walz, black women see the right white man for VP. They're up here talking about how for black women, he's the right white man. God, this plantation mammy talk with these people is sick, man. That's what the DNC convention is, and this is how they treat us. It's plantation talk. They treat us like plantation pickaninnies, and we don't need to go for that. We need to say, hey, enough is enough. We ain't with that no more. All right, let me get some calls in here because I want to test out these sound effects. They got a new thing on the Twitter Spaces where you can use sound effects here. Let's get Mr. AI in here. We'll use some of these sound effects on y'all ass. So we got Mr. AI. Where you at, Mr. AI?
What's going on, Flex? How you doing?
There you go, Mr. AI in the building. All right, I'm in here testing the sound
Yeah,
effects.
brother. Yeah, it seems like the DNC, that article that you just mentioned about from Political, they're trying to push this divestment thing, especially the fact that
Yeah,
that's what they're doing, especially with the fact that Kamala Harris, is married to a white man and everything else. That's what they're
yeah,
doing.
yeah. You know what? You brought up a good point, brother. What I saw Kerry Washington. I saw some images of her, and they had the dude who played in that Scandal show with her. Hold on, let me see some. Let me see where they were. I want to see if they were at one of them conventions. But yeah, they had Kerry Washington, and yeah, she was at the DNC. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Y'all look that up. She was at the DNC with the guy who played the dude at the show on the show. And is this a, so yeah, they're really playing up that bedwench angle. They're really playing that bedwench angle up. And that's what they're doing with Kamala. See, that's what that show Scandal, that was like a bedwench fantasy show. You know, that show that were pandering to bedwenches and women with these secret bedwench fantasies. And that's the angle they're doing with Kamala Harris. They're working that powerful bedwench, black woman with her white prince. They're trying to run that angle. That's why they're always talking about black women. We got to cater and pander to black women, and the black men are just so dumb. Oh, those dumb black men. But you black women, y'all so smart, and white zaddy can see how smart you are. That's why they had Michael Eric Dyson when Ketanji Brown Jackson, whatever her damn name is, was put up in the Supreme Court, and we weren't sitting up here with the capes on. They sent him out. The DNC sent Michael Eric Dyson out to try to shame black men, talking about, well, she had to get her a white man because the black man couldn't appreciate her dark deliciousness and her chocolate charm and her mocha magnificence. Nigga, shut up. So she had to get her a white man. Shut up. You dig? So that whole bedwench thing that they're really running with, that whole scandal thing, they're really pushing that narrative. And they're trying to push the narrative to black women. Hey, look, if you play your cards right, support Kamala, hey, maybe you too can get you a zaddy. You can long for you a zaddy, and you can be powerful, and you can go to the top of the political stratosphere. All you got to do is get you a zaddy. So just follow Kamala's shoes. Kamala's a damn East Indian. Kamala will have your ass locked up. She was locking up black women out here in California. Y'all better not go for the banana in the tailpipe. Let's get Midnight in the building. Midnight in the building. All right, Midnight, what's up, brother? All right, Midnight, what's going on, man? Say something. Say something. And while we're waiting on Midnight, we're gonna get Dylan in here, and then we'll get. Okay, this is. Hold on. Let me. This is the Nigerian tethered Sambo, Carnage. This one of your other fake pages, bro. This one of
Black
the.
Americans are cotton
All
pickers.
right. Get out of here. You're not going.
You're a
This
slave. You're a slave.
this is what dusty, jealous tethers do. Sit up like bitches and make. And I know it's you. I can tell now. We can tell your little fake troll accounts. All right. We got you acting like a little biatch, going in and out of multiple accounts to whine. We got a song on the new album called I Whine to You Niggas. That's what you tethers do. We got a song on the album called Whine to You Niggas. The tethers are the whiningest bitches ever. Hold on, should I play this song? Let me play y'all a snippet of Whine to You Niggas. Hold on one second. Let me try to find that real quick. That's a perfect song because these tethers stay whining. And this is from the new album. Hold on. Grinding for grinding for a green card. Hold on. Where am I? Where am I? I'm about to play. This is a song just for him. Where we at? Here we go. This is the song right here called "Whine to You, Cry to You Niggas." It's a nice Afro beats type of vibe. Hold on. Why do you FBA niggas hate me so much? Why are you so divisive? I thought you were my brother, man. Why do you call me a tether? Because I fled from the motherland. I cry, I whine, I cry to you niggas. I cry, I whine, I cry to you niggas. I cry, I whine, I cry to you niggas. Oh yeah. So we're used to the tethers crying and whining. So we had to make a song about it. You cry so damn much. Y'all tethers stay crying and whining to us. So we just made a song about it. Dylan, hop on. It's a hot album. I'm telling y'all, the album is hot.
Hey,
Dylan, what's up, brother?
man, what's up? How you doing tonight?
I'm good, brother. What's on your mind, Dylan?
Man, cool. I had two questions for you. So the first one, I was gonna say, are you familiar with Jill Stein, the presidential candidate?
Yeah, I'm
And
familiar with it. Yeah.
okay, and then the second question, I was just wondering, like, how come we really not like hearing too much about her? Because I see on her platform she got like reparations, and she got a straight black agenda, all the way from like hate crime bill all the way down to reparations. But I haven't like seen any type coverage or media or anybody talking about her.
Yeah, well, the thing is, she don't really have a shot in hell of winning. There's not any major support behind it, and we see, okay, when you ain't gonna really win, yeah, you can say a lot of stuff. Um, and she had what's his name? What's the guy's name who was going to be her vice president? Running as her VP, Amaru Baraka, whatever his name is. And this dude, he's one of these old Negroes who sit up here online talking about how we shouldn't be identifying as American because we're really African and we need to go to the motherland and all of that stuff. So her VP guy was really, and still is, he denigrates us a lot on social media. So we got to watch who these people are. They'll say one thing and then align themselves with somebody who's basically diametrically opposed to what we're talking about, which is lineage-based reparations. So you got to watch some of these old Sambos who are around these people. Because, see, people are talking a good game, but then you got to watch who's around them. You got to watch who's in their corner. You really got to watch who's down with these people. There's a dude online. There's a video a couple of people sent me. Some old Negro lawyer. I call him an old Negro lawyer. Some old Negro who's clearly clicked in with the Democrats and the DNC. He keeps taking these little shots at us, these little subliminals. and y'all don't have to see me the dude's video. He's one of these old DNC Sambos talking about, y'all don't need, I am a black lawyer, and y'all don't need to be listening to these entertainers and these rappers and all of these pro black peoples, folks who bees on YouTube. You don't need to listen to them when they tells you not to vote, because you need to be listening to peoples like me, Michael Eric Dyson, and Jim Clyburn, because these pro-black, whenever you see somebody start talking about pro-black, well, that's weird for them to use the term pro-black as a pejorative. Like, these pro-black peoples tells you to vote for the couch. That is ludicrous. That is just indubitably ludicrous. You have to go vote, and you need to listen to peoples who is professional. No, listen. And he keeps taking little subliminal shots at me and others in the grassroots. Let me tell you something, old dusty Negro. The reason why people aren't listening to you on the grassroots, they're not listening to you. They're not listening to the Michael Eric Dysons. Man, hold on, my dog is getting on my nerve. Lulu, the dog is just laying all on her back with her legs up like a damn human. Lulu, get up. Stop that snoring. But listen, cats like that. The reason why people on the grassroots and the black masses, because their audience for those guys are usually white, but this Negro, and he's a so-called black lawyer. Let me, and I talked about this the other day. These black lawyers out here, many of these Negroes are useless. Y'all don't really do anything, even if folks are trying to pay you. Some of these black lawyers are goddamn useless right now. Just keep it a buck. We got cases out here where we need help on some of these cases, and we try to hire people, and these black lawyers are so busy bootlicking, Democrat dick licking, twerking on the gram. It's all about flossing and stunting. You barely get your damn law degree, and then you want to stunt and floss for damn 10 years and not win a damn thing. You ain't winning nothing. Niggas just flossing on the internet. That these black lawyers need to step the hell up, man. Because when it comes to justice, ain't nobody. Where are the lawyers that people can go to when people need justice? The only people they got is Ben Crump. Let's keep it a buck, family. Let's keep it a buck. Right now, the top black lawyer in the United States is Ben Crump. Let me say that one more time. The top black lawyer in the United States is Ben Crump. I'm not trying to beat up on Ben Crump, but Ben Crump. Ben Crump can barely damn talk. That's the top lawyer. I'm not trying to denigrate the man. That's the top lawyer. We go from Johnny Cochran to Ben Crump. These black lawyers are damn near non-existent when it comes to being out here helping the community. And not just, I ain't talking about just doing shit for free, just being there, just being down to stand on business and just be available when folks need you. Okay, I'm gonna put this damn dog outside. This dog is really disturbing me. The dog done got louder. Hold on, I'm gonna throw some water on her ass. Hold on one second. Y'all bear with me 1 second. Because these dogs are too damn loud and I'm trying to talk and that's very disturbing. Hold on 1 second. Okay. All right, Lulu, shut the hell up. Go in your cage, Lulu. Good grief. Hold on, let me put them outside. Y'all bear with me for a second. I can't. Lord, I can't stand all that loud ass dog snoring. Y'all bear with me for a second. All right, let me put that out. Y'all come on. Y'all go outside and chase squirrels or something. All right. Yeah. All right. Sorry, guys. What's up, Lexi? But yeah, like I said, man, the reason why folks aren't listening to the Michael Eric Dysons and some of these Negroes who are trying to brag about being black professionals and all of that, because you don't do anything for the community. Nobody listening to you. When you get in the room with the white people, you start bucking your eyes. Nobody's listening to you. They know how you are. You ain't really doing nothing. The reason why people listen to us, because we're out here in the trenches. We actually stomp the yard and get out here on the front line and actually help people in the community. We put it out there like that. We put our lives on the line to a certain degree. We actually get out here and do stuff when there's some protest or whatever, or a turn up or wherever. We're out there. We're out here in these streets with the people. We're out here getting folks out of jail, doing your damn job. Negro lawyer, we're doing your job. That's why people roll with us. And I don't even want people to follow me, but people follow me anyway. People always point me out as being a black leader. People make it seem like I'm one of the most influential black leaders in modern America. People make it seem like I am one of the most influential black leaders. And the thing is, I've never called myself a leader. I don't look at myself. I don't want to be. I just want us to follow logic. I want logic to be the leader because I'm not egotistical. I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm everybody's leader. I'm y'all mama and daddy. No, that's ego. I don't give a shit about that. I just want I want justice for all of us. I want us to be empowered. And also, we're supposed to be on code with each other. We're supposed to look out for each other. See, that's what codification is about. I can always talk about growing up, my mother, my grandmother, growing up with my Southern FBA family. Part of my upbringing as a person who's a Gen Xer, in our day, it was a given that everybody just kind of looked out for those in the neighborhood. I grew up in that era right before the crack kicked in. When the crack kicked in, things got different. That's when folks started to get their houses broken into. Y'all remember people before like 1984, black folks weren't really getting their houses broken into by other black people. We started getting that shit doing when the drugs came in. That's when these dusty niggas started creeping in your windows. That started happening around 83, 84. Generally, we didn't do that. At one point, black folks could keep their damn doors unlocked in certain neighborhoods. Everybody knew each other. But when the narcotic came in, it became something different. But we looked out for each other. It was a given. You see somebody in trouble, you go look out for them. You help them. That's what it was. If a family was in need, you help that family. Somebody lost their job, he'd go down, he'd walk down the street and give them some cakes and some of these pies out and bake for them. It was that type of thing. And you really saw if somebody white was jumping on a black person, you all go handle that. That's what we saw at the Montgomery situation down there. That was like our upbringing. I grew up down there in Alabama. That was normal. You better not sit up here and let some white boys jump on a black person and you standing your ass right there. You better not let that happen. So you were always supposed to pull up. You were always supposed to look out for brothers in the community. You were always supposed to look out for sisters in the community. That was a given. We all looked out for each other. And this whole thing where these so-called professional Negroes, they lost sight of that. You get around white folks and it's all about, hey, it's all about me. I don't want to ruffle no feathers. I don't want to make these white people mad at me. No, that's not how we're supposed to get out. And that's not something that people are going to look up to. Y'all think that just because you go get your law degree or your doctorate or whatever, that everybody's going to look up to you because of that. No, people look up to you based on what you do for the community. And the old lawyer Negro, he was talking about how when he was growing up, all he saw were drug dealers and street people and all of that. And that's who everybody had to look up to. So he wanted to do something different and be a professional. That's fine, but you still have to do something for the community. Just you being a damn professional who ain't doing a damn thing for the masses, nobody's supposed to look up to you. Let me talk to the black professionals in here. If you're going to be a black professional, ain't nobody going to look up to you because of that. No. You better do something for the community. If you're a black professional, okay, you want to show and prove, okay, what are you doing to help? If you ain't helping, don't sit up here and start popping your collar bragging about what you do. Let me tell you something. The reason why people in the hood They look up to the drug dealers and the hustlers and some of the street dudes. You know why they look up to them? Not because they want to emulate what they do. That's not really it. They look up to them because a lot of the street dudes will actually help the community. A lot of street dudes, and I'm talking about not the dusty niggas. I'm talking about the hustlers, the dudes who's getting money. The hustlers, the street dudes, a lot of them will look out for the community. I've seen drug dealers and hustlers buy little football teams' uniforms before. You dig? A lot of these dudes will start legitimate businesses and they will have people in the neighborhood employed in those businesses. A lot of the street dudes will feed the community. That's what the people look up to. You know, like my brother Freeway Rick had a lot of legitimate businesses, and Freeway Rick put a lot of people on. He was instrumental in Anita Baker's early career, funding some of that stuff, and certain rap groups he was funding, and he had a whole bunch of legitimate businesses. That's why people respected him. He looked out for the neighborhood. You see, looking out for the neighborhood goes a long way. And the thing is, when people follow what I do, because I can show and prove, I look out for the community. Whenever you see some tragedies going on, and I just don't brag about it. A lot of folks, y'all don't know. Some of you guys are new. Some of y'all might not know some of the stuff that I've done. Those who've been around, y'all know my get down. Some of these folks that have been aggrieved, families that have received injustices, man, I done paid for just a ton of funerals for people. Um, when the Ferguson thing went down, I was sending thousands of dollars down there to feed the people. I got a long track record of being out here in the trenches, not just physical support, but financial support. That goes a long way. That's why I get so much support with what I do. And these so-called professional Negroes are nowhere to damn be found. And then we have to do your job. We have to get on the phone with the prosecutors and the DAs. Family, do y'all know how many folks we done got out of jail? I done got so many people out of jail. I'm not even a lawyer. I done got people out of jail. I done got people charged. Remember up there in Detroit and Michigan, there was an Asian dude who shot a black kid, and the prosecutor didn't even want to charge this Asian guy. Man, me and this prosecutor was arguing online. Man, we were arguing, going back and forth to like 2, 3 in the morning. I found him and me, we were going in. And I let him know, man, you better put some damn charges on this dude. You better put some damn charges on this dude. I will personally make sure you'll never get elected again ever in your damn life. Nigga, my whole family's out there in Detroit. I will be out there tomorrow making that whole fucking block hot out there. You will never ever get elected again, dude. You better put charges. And he put the right charges on the guy. You understand? These lawyers ain't really out here doing nothing, man. We don't have lawyers stomping like that just to do it. These lawyers out here, we got lawyers out here now trying to cut deals with the police and the race soldiers. They're out here trying to cut little personal deals and having forgiveness tours and all of this stuff. Dr. Davinsky, okay, let me get him in. We got the white supremacists from Australia who don't really have nothing to say. What do you got to say, Dr. Davinsky? You really don't have anything to say. Hop in, man. What do you got to say? You're making all of these gestures. What do you got to say, Dr. Davinsky? Unmute your microphone.
Salam alaikum, brother Tariq. How you doing?
All right, let me get the kangaroo sound effect. That's the kangaroo sound effect because you're in Australia. But what's going on?
Yeah, I'm chilling. I was just I reverted to Islam last night. I did my shahada, and I've been doing some research. And beautiful, beautiful religion. You want to hear my favorite quote?
Okay, let me get some more people in. I don't want to hear your jokes are already starting off lame. Even the setup is already lame. I don't even want to hear the punchline. Damn, you white supremacists. You were doing all of that gesturing just to do some corny material you done worked on that's already fallen flat. I converted to Islam. You want to know why? You know, one of my favorite quotes. It's already unfunny. It's already unfunny, buddy. Let's get Maj Flamel here. Maj Flamel. What's up, Maj? And hold on. This is Free Thinker, who is clearly, hold on. Free Thinker, you are clearly the womanizer. You're that Nigerian tether. Free Thinker, you're the one who's going to yell about cotton, right? Free Thinker, go ahead. Free.
Hey, yo, Tariq,
Yes.
how you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. What's going on?
Man, I've been trying to get in here for a minute, man. I just wanted to say I got a couple points I want to make, but the first thing I want to say is I hate the term of giving people flowers, but what I got to say about you is that I feel like I know you ain't gonna say it because you a super humble dude. Like you talk your shit, but you a humble dude,
Yeah.
and um. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I think you one of the biggest figures of Black American culture, probably of this generation.
Yeah.
Um, that's just my opinion, and you know what I'm saying. I know a few people had a few things to say about you being on the wall at the museum and stuff. I think you are just as deserving of being on the wall as any of the other people that was up there.
Yes, indeed. Absolutely. And I agree. I won't disagree with that. I won't
Yeah,
disagree with that. Yes,
yeah. I
indeed.
think you just
And I
go ahead.
appreciate
My
that.
bad.
And I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no,
Absolutely.
I just wanted to say that because I hate when people be trying you like you ain't like I feel like you have you started a conversation in the Black community that we wasn't talking about before. I'll say, man, you changed my whole mindset. I ain't gonna lie. I'm 32 years old. I first found out about you at Revolt when you came to Revolt Summit in Atlanta.
Oh yeah.
That I didn't know anything about you before then. And so once I saw you on the panel, I was like, let me see what this dude is about. I end up, doing research, and I literally been listening to you ever since. So it's like my whole mindset changed. Like I'm I've gotten like a big platform on Instagram, and I'm arguing with people every single day. I've watched every single DNC. I've watched all 3 days, every single speech, like, and I'm just picking apart what these people are saying, and I'm sitting here as I'm listening, like, oh shit, I can't wait to see what Tariq got to say about this shit.
Oh yeah. Oh
So,
yeah. Oh
but
yeah.
the point I want to make to you, because I want to get some other people up, and thanks for letting me up.
Absolutely.
I want to say what I wanted to ask you is, I know you talked about delineating. I've started the delineation movement. I'm employing it to several other, FBA people, every FBA person that I know. But what I do want to say is this. I want to ask you, how do we delineate from these FBAs that got their legs wrapped around, got their arms wrapped around our damn legs when we trying to get off the plantation?
Yeah.
And they like, no, 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 y'all got, they going for the catfish nuggets, they going for the
Yeah.
twerking, they going for the Lil Johns and the Jasmine Crockett up there doing the sister girl BET
Oh.
talking, and
Oh God. Yeah, man.
that shit was so cringy when she was doing the BET talking. I was like, oh my God, here they go. And Michelle
Yeah.
did it a little bit too. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I saw. I couldn't even watch the interview. I saw some of the screenshots of her doing the sister girl face and the.
Yeah, Michelle did it, but Jasmine went full blown BET with it.
Oh
You,
yeah, yeah.
So I just wanted to ask you, how do we delineate from the FBAs that's trying to hold us back? And I'll land there.
Thank you so much. So what we do, man, we just keep on stomping on the grassroots and keep on getting on code and empowering ourselves on this level. You understand? Because we're not beholden, us on the grassroots, we're just not beholden to the corporate structure. You do have Black people, what we saw, those DNC mammies and Sambos, they're beholden to the white corporate structure. And it's slavery extended. They're on a plantation. The DNC is like a damn plantation. It's like a plantation. And they don't give you anything. You basically have to do all the work so that everybody else benefits. and they give you a pat on the head, and you're happy to be on the plantation because you get a couple of butter biscuit crumbs. And they literally give you little Negro foods, catfish nuggets, and collard greens. The DNC literally treats you like you're on a plantation. And then they have the Jezebels go out and do what they used to do on the plantation. Remember, they would shake ass on the plantation for massa. That's what the bedwenches would do, to try to get up there and who's going to get in the bedroom with massa and get a little warmth so you ain't got to be in the cold cabins. The big house was a little bit warmer. Yeah, it's just like the plantation. And when those who got unruly wanted to say, hey man, I don't want to be on this plantation, they send the overseers out, the Rollins and other boule bootlicks, to curse us out. Shut up, stupid fool. Don't you try to get off this plantation. What you mean you trying to leave, you stupid bastard? They get to cursing us out. Look how they talk to us. They talk to us like the Negro overseers would do. Remember, they would get Negro overseers. They would get the fiddlers and the Chicken George and those people to kind of look over the rest of the slaves. So it's literally just an advanced version of slavery. And then they get out here and talk all sassy. Jasmine Crockett, they get her out there with her bundles of this. They put as many bundles. Where do they get the bundles for this woman's wigs? They got this woman with the biggest, weirdest bundles of damn wigs. Looks like a damn baby buffalo on the back of her damn head. She's shaking and doing her neck and all that. Okay. Just sassy mammyisms and no policy. Nothing. And we're good on it. I'm so cool on that. I'm cool. That's why you have a lot of black people, truth be told, a lot of black people are looking to Trump. Like, okay, what does Trump have to say? A lot of people on the streets, that's why they're interviewing a lot of black voters and just black people. Surprisingly, a lot of people are saying that they're supporting Trump. This Don Lemon, he goes out interviewing people. Most of the black people he's interviewing are saying that they're supporting Trump. It's very interesting because we want business to be handled now. We're starting to get a little more serious now because we see the ramifications of so many things. Some of the plantationisms, people on the grassroots, they're backing away from it. Don't let what they show in the media fool you. What you saw with the DNC, that was a stage production. That was acting, ladies and gentlemen. These were vetted Sambos and Mammies that they put out there, but the real people on the streets, they're not really with that. Some of these shenanigans we're starting to shy away from because we see the dangers of it. Speaking of that, Sexy Red, she is going to release some lip gloss with all of these real dirty, derogatory names like gonorrhea and coot. It already came out there? Not a couple of years ago, because they're promoting it now, like coochie, booty hole brown, and all of that stuff, and and what coochie cream, some just very disgusting titles for her just trying to be as degenerate as possible. And people are noticing that Sexy Red's her concert dates, they're being canceled. You know what? They're being canceled because people ain't really going. The gimmick is kind of wearing itself out. You understand? That gimmick, you can only gimmick your way in the game for so long. But people are seeing the real ramifications for that dirty, degenerate behavior because what happens is they use that Sexy Red filth, that really the white media, that's something that they backed up, and I've been saying this in the media for the longest in different interviews. This is something that the white media basically elevated and put a lot of money behind. That's the image of black women that they want to promote. And it's an extremely dangerous image because it's a stereotype. It's a walking damn stereotype. The Sexy Red is how most white people want to believe black women are. That satisfies their egos when they believe that black women are disgusting, sexually undisciplined, little stanky, hood rat Jezebels with different baby daddies. That's their stereotype. And they use the sexy red image to justify harming black women. So when a black woman like Sonia Massey gets shot in her head by a race soldier, a lot of people in the dominant society, well, hey, good riddance. She was going to be the next sexy red. You understand? When black girls end up missing, well, man, good riddance. Because they just saw a sexy red video, sexy red twerking while she is pregnant. So when you end up missing, it's like, good riddance. We got to watch the images that's portrayed of us. That's why I was very big on, that's why I did the Hidden Colors series. That's why that changed the game. That's why the Hidden Colors series, that had to be a grassroots movement, because that was something to counter what the dominant society was putting out there of us. And we keep waiting on them to put out images of us that are empowering, and they're not going to do it. It has to be from the grassroots. It has to come from us. And we have to be on code in order to make that happen. All right. Let's get some more people in here. We got Grace Jones, Box Cut. What? Wait, did Maj want to say something? Maj, you in here? Maj, are you good? I'm gonna give you one more chance, and I'm gonna get you out of here. All right. You don't want to say nothing. Midnight, you trying to say something? Yo, Midnight. All right. Midnight is out. All right. Let me get him out. Let me see. Miss Val. Okay. Let's get Miss Val in here. Val, hop on. Let's get Miss Val in the building. And raise your hand. Raise your hand if you want to get on. Let's get see Matro there. I remember talking to you, Matro. I can't remember what we talked about. And let me get the Alchemist. Let me get the Alchemist first. The Alchemist is throwing up all types of hand signs. The Alchemist, what's up, man? The Alchemist, unmute your microphone, man.
Yo, Tariq, can you hear me?
Oh God, it's you again.
Yo, I'm gonna say the same thing again, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Okay, hold on. Wait, another thing. Wait, slow down, because you keep lying about where you're from. Some people pointed this out. You call up and say you're from somewhere else every time you call up. You say
What?
you're from Ethiopia. Then one time you said you're from Guinea. So you are all over the. Why are you so ashamed of where you're from?
What do you mean? I'm from Guinea then.
But the other night you said you're from Ethiopia.
No, I never
Ye-
said that.
Yes, you did.
No, I say I'm from Guinea. I know though. I know people that are from Ethiopia though.
Well, no, but you said you were Ethiopian. So why are you so ashamed of where you're from, man?
I'm from Guinea. I'm not from Ethiopia.
Well, then you keep lying. So that means you're ashamed of where you're from.
No, you keep hearing something else. I never said I'm from Ethiopia.
Yes, you did.
No.
I know I'm not getting my tethers mixed up. Didn't you
Oh,
call last say I could have swore you called last night. You're from Ethiopia. Family, did this tether call last night? Because I get my tethers mixed up. Was this the same tether who called last night? Was it another one?
yeah, we not the same. I don't know who you're talking to.
Okay, because do all of y'all got the same little old flimsy voices like you're hungry and scared?
No.
Okay, so what's on your mind, Alchemist?
So yes, I say like y'all focus on the wrong people, bro. We are
We focus
focused
on the wrong people. Like who are we focusing on?
On African people, on
We're not
African.
even focused on you.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
We're not
Yeah, you do.
focused. We're not focused on you. We're not focused on you. We're talking about something else. You're trying to interject your little musty self in the conversation. So what are you talking about?
You're talking about always African theater, musty theater, whatever. When Hispanic and Latino is overtaking everything that y'all have,
You
they're
said the same
taking.
thing last night. You
They,
under another name. So you are the same tether. Ain't nobody
no,
over.
no, 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 no,
No,
no,
no,
no,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
no.
yeah, 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 yeah. You lying
They
tether.
they're taking your
Get,
job.
get your. Ain't nobody taking nothing. Little old musty thing. You're taking an inner tube to float your stinking ass over here. That's what you're taking. Val, Miss Val, hop on.
Hi, Tariq.
Hey, Val, how
How
are
are you? I'm
I'm good.
doing okay. I'm glad to hear about Sexy Red. Glad to hear she's going down in flames. I know her concerts weren't doing really good, but I
Right.
am so glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Um, the other, I had three things. That was number one. Number two, I put in your jumbotron. You remember back in April, our group did a rally in Washington at the memorial, and I just wanted you to watch it. I just put it. We did put together all the speeches we did.
Okay.
So I just sent it to you. And the thing that I really want to talk about today, well, I didn't watch any of the DNC, but it kept coming up on my news feed about Obama, so I watched it, and it's just amazing how we was in awe and full of hope in 2008. And then you listen to him today and he's saying the same thing. It's like,
Yeah.
man, if you don't get off my TV.
Yeah.
I mean, that was so, I mean, he's selling us the same biscuits. So, yeah, I just want to say that.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, they brought him out, and good point to say they brought Obama out like that was going to do something. Like we ain't tripping on Obama. It's the white media really bigging them up in all the Democratic shields. Ooh, Michelle and Barack. Ooh, they said that. Ooh, the auntie got down. They didn't do anything that was all that impressive. They do the same gibberish they always do. A bunch of empty ass rhetoric, a bunch of nothing burgers, and we ain't falling for it. We ain't falling for it. We need to hear some numbers. If they come talking to us, I'm listening out for some damn numbers. How much we gonna get? Midnight, you good now, man?
Yes, yeah. My apologies for earlier. How you doing
I'm good.
tonight,
I'm
Tariq?
good, brother.
And yeah, you do deserve your flowers. You do deserve your flowers from the other
I
caller.
appreciate
You did start a very good conversation. So my question is, how do you feel about the grassroots or a bunch of people starting our own credit union, like a FBA credit union, some in the similar vein of the Hope Credit Union down south, where Black Methodist Church started that credit union down there to help the lower income Black community that's in, I think, several states
yes,
down there.
indeed.
So how do you
It
think
does
about
a
that?
good. That's a good idea. Yeah, there's some people who are into banking and understand finance, and there's some reputable people. They want to do that. That would be great. That would be a good idea. Absolutely. Grace Jones box cut. What's happening? Grace Jones box cut. Okay. Let's go to Matro then. Matro in the building.
What's up, Tariq?
What's up, Matro? How you doing, bro?
Doing good, doing good. I was listening to one of your spaces last week. You were talking to another gentleman. I forgot who he was using as an example, but you clarified that there's two conditions to be considered an FBA. One was, of course, you had to have one of your parents being an FBA, and
Yes.
the other one was, if I'm not mistaken, you have to be born on home soil, but that could extend to military camps, right?
Yeah, and there's other circumstances like with the guy was talking about the Kyrie Irving situation,
Right.
where somebody's working abroad. When you work abroad and you have a child and both of the parents are U.S. citizens, what you do you find the U.S. consulate or the U.S. embassy there in the country, and you kind of register the birth with them, and they will give the child an immediate birth certificate, not a birth, I think a birth certificate and a passport for the child. So that child will still have U.S. citizenship, even if it's born abroad. So there's special circumstances that the guy was trying to point out, but he was trying to deliberately overlook all of the administrative procedures that would still designate you as a foundation of Black American. But go ahead.
Right, right. Now I'm in agreement with you there. I think Kyrie Irving is F. No, I don't think. I believe he's a
He
FBA. I
is
think.
100%. Oh yeah.
Yeah, most of his young adult life was he grew up in America, right?
Absolutely, yeah. He moved. They brought him here when he was like 2. So yeah, I
Yeah,
think probably
so
younger than that. He might have been younger than that, but I think he was born in Australia because his dad was over there playing ball, and they had him registered as an American citizen there, and then he just came on over. He didn't have to go through no immigration and none of that stuff. But yeah,
so so this is gonna put you in a bit of a tough spot, but I'm gonna ask you the question.
yeah,
Andrew Tate. So he was born in America. He grew up in Chicago up until he was about 10, 11. His
yeah.
father is an FBA.
Hmm.
I'm assuming you don't consider him an FBA, but I want to know your reason.
Well, I don't know, because his background is so shaky and janky, and he's such a weird guy, and he tries to pander to the white supremacist crowd. So he could technically be a foundational black American, but does he identify as black now? That's another thing too. You have to identify as black. I don't think he identifies as black. I think he identifies as white on paper. I think he tries to troll and say that he's black and all of that stuff. I think on paper, him and his brother document themselves as white. And that's another thing. You have to be, especially if you want to qualify for reparations, you have to currently classify yourself as a black person. Because look, there are a lot of white people who do have black ancestry, but they classify themselves as white. You understand? So yes, they're not foundational black Americans because they've had somewhat of a genetic and ethnogenesis through miscegenation and all of that stuff. So you have to currently be a foundational black American and classify yourself as black and have the lineage to go along with it. You see?
Right, right. In his case, obviously because of genetics, he can pass as white, but he appears to be white at least if you look at him in the street,
Right.
right?
Yeah, he looks like a white guy, and I can almost guarantee on his paperwork he classifies himself as white. He doesn't live and classify himself as a black person. He talks like a white supremacist.
But this is the thing, and this was actually an argument that I was going to bring up to you in the past, but I forgot to bring it up. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of FBAs that grow up or grew up in white neighborhoods, right? So they
Uh-huh.
don't, at least culturally they're not FBA, but they're FBA by all accounts, right? So some people grew up in different environments, so they're culturally not FBA, even
What
though
what's culturally, because it's your foundational black American is a lineage, so it's based on your lineage.
it's based off your lineage. So in that case,
Right.
Andrew Tate, even though he acts white,
Mhm.
he can still
And
pass
does
as
he, and
FBA.
I think he classifies himself as white. See, you have to be currently classified as a black person. That's the thing. See, yeah, people try to wiggle their way around because yeah, we're just going to go with somebody who has um, a black ancestor, an FBA ancestor. A lot of white people can pull that. That's why we say, hey, no, 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 you have to be currently classified as a black person. You
But
have.
but then you have a dilemma, right? Because so in his case, let's say when it comes down to cutting checks, right? In his case, what's stopping him from classifying himself as black when it comes time to cutting the check? You know what I mean?
Well, this guy Sandy Darity, he made a good point. You have to have been classified as black for at least 10 years. I think that was his classification. Um, and that's a very good classification. You can look up people's paperwork and you can look up some of the stuff that they put on their IDs when they go get their licenses and all of that stuff. Just different ways you can tell what a person has classified themselves as, even on census forms and the whole thing. You can kind of find out how this person has been living. Have they been living as a black person? Because yeah, a lot of people will try to play the whole um, genetic shuffle and point out their black grandma somewhere that they denying, but now that there's a check, now they want to acknowledge her. So you have to be a person who is classified. That's why we're trying to get a Freedmen's Bureau so all of this stuff can be fleshed out. We need to have a Freedmen's Bureau where we are in charge of it, where we can look at people's paperwork and make sure everything is on the up and up so we don't get no $5 FBAs popping up.
Right, right. So we don't know whether he classifies himself as black. At least on paperwork, in public, he doesn't say he's white either. He's just kind of like he's ambiguous. But I
Yeah,
was
he.
just I was curious about that because you did mention those two conditions,
One
and
thing
he
you can
fits those
do
two conditions.
one thing you can do, you look up their damn arrest records. That's how you really can tell. When you start looking at people when they get arrested, they'll list what you classify yourself as. And a lot of these people who we think are so-called black, especially if they're from the Caribbean or from some other place, they have melanated skin, but they classify themselves as white. You there? So you got to watch some of these folks. You got to watch them. And he's been to jail many times. I'll give you an example. The guy from the Proud Boys, Enrique Terrio. They try to portray him as like, well, he's an Afro-Cuban, he's an Afro-Latino. But I pulled up his jail record; it's white in all of them, and that dude's my color, but he classifies himself as white on all of his paperwork and documents. So we're not playing that game. So this is why we're saying no, 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 no. We're going to need everybody's paperwork to be front and center, and we're going to make sure we don't get no $5 tethers trying to come into the mix. All right.
Got you. And one more thing. I don't know if you ever known about the history of the Nova Scotian Black African Americans. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, I think Dwayne the Rock, his dad is part of that. I think, or was part of that.
Yes.
Yeah, I know
Yes.
there were black people who went up there. I think they were fighting in the Revolutionary War. Um, and many of them sided with the British, and the British sent them up there in Nova Scotia. And they created hockey up there. By the way, hockey was created by black people. But yeah, they went up there, and yeah, they were here, and then they went up there to Nova Scotia. What about them?
Yeah. No, I was wondering if they would qualify for reparations,
No,
or
no,
they're too far off, I guess.
no. They had an ethnogenesis. They became Canadians.
Okay.
You see, when you move, you become a part of a different culture, but you form a different ethnic group. You see, just like the Liberians, they try to play the whole thing with the Liberians. They're not. They've had an ethnogenesis, just like us. People. You look at our DNA. We might have some Nigerian or area that is now known as Nigeria. We might have some DNA from over there. We probably came from there at one point, but I can't go back there now as a Nigerian. I'm not. I'm because I've had an ethnogenesis. I'm not that. A Nova Scotian, they're not part of our lineage and our culture. So they're a different ethnic group. So there's ethnogenesis that happened. That makes sense?
But the thing with the Liberians though is you can't even really prove it anyways because they're so mixed in with the natives there that it's kind of like, yeah, they're pretty much African at this point. Where with
Right.
the
Right.
Nova Scotians, they just intermingle amongst themselves. It's kind of like an FBA group that decided to go off an island and have been living there for 100 years. They didn't mix with other African groups. Their
Mhm.
African DNA or their original FBA lineage is still intact. They
But the
might have
thing,
mixed with white people, but that's pretty much it.
but you have an ethnogenesis, just like you got people in the Pacific Islands who go from island to island and they become different groups. You got the Samoans who look like Hawaiians, but the Samoans are a distinct ethnic group. They look very similar to Hawaiians, but they're not Hawaiians. But they come from that um, the same kind of culture, that Polynesian culture. And some people will say, okay, we're going to go to another island to find some fruit and some food. They get stuck on that island. They come up with a whole different culture. They become Tahitians. So they have an ethnogenesis. So even though they're all Polynesian, they have different ethnic cultures within those Polynesian groups. We're the same thing. We might have melanin, just like the Caribbeans or some African cats or some people up in Nova Scotia, but we have a distinct ethnic group as foundational Black Americans. We have a uniqueness and a different culture that's different. That makes sense?
That is well the example you talked about with the Polynesians that occurred over thousands of years, whereas with the Nova Scotians it was just within the past maybe 200 years I could say
Not, yeah,
maybe.
not even thousands of years, because some of them it's like within the last few hundred years, people kind of floated here and there. So um, yeah, they created different ethnic groups, even with Hispanics. There before the year what um, 1520, there was no such thing as a Hispanic over here. But the Hispanics in the Western Hemisphere is relatively new. It's only been around for a couple of hundred years. But a Puerto Rican, they're not the same as a Colombian. Colombian is not the same as a Cuban. You understand? They're from Spanish culture, but they have their own different unique ethnic groups and their ethnic cultures, right?
Right, but you're conflating that with kind of like, because the borders at the end of the day, they're imaginary lines. It's not like, in other words, a person who grew up in Nova Scotia could be closer culturally to a black FBA person that grew up in the northeastern states versus a black person in Louisiana. Like, in other words, your culture is conflated to the region that you grew up in. That's why, like I said, like a person from Nova Scotia, who was always at least from a lineage point of view, an FBA, is closer to Americans than a person from Liberia, because Liberia is across the Atlantic Ocean. At that point, it's just a completely foreign culture to FBAs, whereas Nova Scotia is just across the border, which, I mean, again, at the end of the day, an imaginary line. It's
It
a
is still a
social
different,
construct.
it's still a different ethnic group. A Puerto Rico ain't that damn far from Cuba, but Puerto Ricans and Cubans are totally different. They have two different cultures,
But
even though.
you still have to cross an ocean, whereas a
Right.
border is a thin line. It's an imaginary line. Sorry.
Well, hell, if you go down to South America, a Brazilian, they're completely different from a Colombian. The whole vibe and the whole energy is completely different from a Colombian, and that's not, they're right across the border from each other. An Argentinian is different from a Brazilian. They look different. Their culture is different. The food is different. You understand? So they don't have to cross an ocean. So different cultures in different regions, they simply have different ethnic groups and ethnicities. That's just what it is, sir. Right?
Right, but so then by that logic, again, a person from Louisiana who's an FBA is completely different culturally from an FBA who grew up in Michigan or an FBA who grew up in California.
Mm,
It's
right.
it's a region thing, right? It's not
But
connected to the country.
we have different nuances and different slangs or different accents, but all of us are mixed together because we're all family, because we live in the same country and we're citizens of the same country. So a lot of black people in California, their roots are from Louisiana or Alabama or Texas, or people in Chicago and Detroit, their roots are from Alabama or from the South. So we intermixed and traveled up and down the nation, vibing and corresponding with each other and sharing our culture. So we never lost our culture. That's why a black person in California back in the day, even before the internet, we could do a dance down south, and that dance would be out here in California, and vice versa within a few weeks, because we corresponded with each other, because we were still part of the same family, and we still are. So we're still part of the same ethnic group, even though there's certain accents on our verbal language and certain little nuances here and there. We're still part of the same ethnic group.
Okay. Okay. No, that's interesting. That's it for me. I hope you guys do get your checks, but it'll be interesting to see who gets cut out of it. That's for sure, because it's
Oh yeah, just
a lot of
FBAs. Oh yeah,
ambiguity.
it's real simple. It's not that hard. Non FBAs are going to get. They're not going to get what we're getting because you're not a part of our lineage. The non FBAs. Where's Teslin? Hold on, Teslin, get back in here. All right, thank you so much. I have my sister Teslin in here. And this brother was so long winded. Teslin, where you at, sis? Hold on, Tez, where you at? Hold on. I had Teslin waiting. This guy was so damn long winded. Hold on one second. Hold on. Hold on. Damn, this dude's so long damn winded. So long down. Okay. I wanted her to get on and say something. Okay. I had my sister Teslin waiting. I wanted to see what she had to say. And this dude just kept asking these damn redundant ass questions. All right, somehow I'm gonna have to land folks' plane. There's one more question. What if there was a Eskimo who had a mother from Louisiana? Okay, just damn, dude. I wanted to get Teslin on. All right, let me get some more people in here. All right. Let me get on. We got Ellis, California. Get Ellis in here. Ellis, what's up, brother?
What's up with the Tariq, man? This Freeman's Bureau, I'm skeptical of it, right? And the reason is, if you look at the Native American, they got the Bureau of Indian Affairs, the BIA, right? Anybody can work for them, white, black, Mexican, Asian. You don't even got to be Indian to work for a Native American to work for him. That's going to cause hella confusion. And then on top of that, what's going to stop them from like having this waiting list like Section 8, then the corruption of letting people who ain't even FBA into it? I just think that whole like the Freedmen's Bureau, at the least, we got to really look into that before we even can get the conversation really going.
Now, how are we going to make the determination of who's eligible and who's qualified?
I mean, I understand we need it, but I'm just saying that's the question I'm asking. That's the question that I'm asking, to be honest, because we
Right.
see it's major problems with the Native Americans and what they got going on. You got black people who've been trying to get their, the be qualified for it, and it's been taking forever.
Well, we have to have some kind of governing body to qualify people. So how do we do it if we don't do it like a Freedmen's Bureau?
But if it's a government entity, we can't necessarily, we can't make it mandatory that the people that's running the bureau is going to be FBA.
Okay, I don't really get I don't get where you're going with it, brother, to be honest. So what should we do? How do we qualify the people?
And that's the conundrum, bro. Because if we have this big bureaucracy that's being ran by people that's not us, how do we even guarantee it's not going to be no corruption and the bullshit that we see with a lot of these other institutions like Section 8 and shit
Then
like that?
what's the alternative? You got to give a suggestion what to do. If you're saying that one way ain't the right way, you got to have a suggestion on what the right way would be in order to get reparations to foundational Black Americans. How would you suggest it? You got to come up with some ideas.
You definitely need some type of governing body, but I'm not sure if it's if a like if a government entity like a bureau would be the right thing. Maybe something where it's like scholars, genealogists, or something like that, some type of like association, but not necessarily a bureau.
But they would have to work with the government, though.
I don't mind them working with the government, but I'm saying that, the difference between having a whole entity where anybody can go apply for them and work for them, or having a legit governing body that's people that, we have selected,
Okay.
genealogists, experts, that's, people who've been fighting for reparations, who've been doing research for 'em, things of that nature, those type of people, instead of just a government body.
Not a governing body, not a government body. I'm saying it could be some group, but they have to have some kind of contract with the government because the checks will come from the United States government. So whatever the organization of the group is, it's a group that would have to be vetted by the government in order to get the checks. They have to have some kind of camaraderie with the government, right?
Yeah, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't do it, like we should do it without the government. I'm just saying the form of the actual organization. I don't think it should be something that's like a department within the government. It should be something that's like an organization or association from us. So it's not really subject to any type of corruption or just having anybody be able to apply for the job and become the head
Okay,
of this.
got it. Okay, that's why you got to come up with ideas on what you think would work best and throw that in the pot. And if it makes sense, people will go with that. So whatever way we do it, because what I don't want to do is just go in circles about the Freedmen's Bureau. We go in circles about a lot of stuff and it don't get fleshed out. This should be fleshed out now. If there's a problem, because I remember going to some of the reparations hearings and you had people in there making some dumbass arguments. Like some people would say one amount of money, and they're arguing over money that's not even been allocated yet. Some people are saying that there should be 5 trillion. Hell no, it need to be $400 trillion. No, I didn't win. I personally went through some shit. Come on, let's make this thing make sense, and let's argue in good faith, and let's get over one hurdle before we get to the next. So I don't want to just go in circles about little small technicalities. Whatever governing body, we can sit down and make sure that it doesn't get infiltrated. That's why we have to be on top of everything. All right. All right. Where's Teslin? Tez, where you at? I thought you were coming back in here, Tez. And certainly, what's up, Sir? Sir Major in the building. Yeah, this guy, that Tether who called earlier, that's what I thought. This dude was up in one of Sir Major's spaces talking about he's Ethiopian. That Tether says he's Ethiopian, then he says he's from Guinea, then he says he's from Cleveland. That Tether is from all over the place. He tries to lie. He's trying to be slick. All right. Let's get let me see. Let me see who we got. Let's get Rebel. Let's get Rebel in the building. All right, Rebel. What's going on, Rebel? Unmute your microphone, Rebel.
Tariq, what's up?
What's up, Rebel? How are you?
All right. I mean, I'm a big fan. I've been following you for over a decade. I have all your movies except for the microphone check. But as soon as you get the new version out, I'm getting that too.
Absolutely.
But the one talking point you always bring up, which I wholly agree, is how like black business is targeted in America.
Yes.
I'm from the DMV. I know you come to DC a lot.
Yeah.
So in DC, they have these things called ANCs, Advisory Neighborhood Commissions, and they're not government. They're like nonprofits that are anybody in the neighborhood can run and as basically become a part of basically. And basically, if you wanted to do business in that neighborhood, you had to go to this ANC to get approval to get a license, or basically if you don't get their approval, they're going to nuisance you, complaints, call the police on you, everything.
Wow.
And in DC, they're notorious for targeting black business. And if you're white or Asian business, you get green lighted, no problem. But your black business, you have to go through them, and you do anything wrong, you're out.
Yeah. Wow.
So,
yeah.
And
the sabotage is all over the country, man. They always got some little weird little thing they try to do to undermine black businesses. Remember down in Houston with the turkey leg hut, they were the white people in the community, they were sitting up here sending emails plotting on them, trying to get little smoke ordinances on them, saying that they had too much smoke in the air and some environmental ordinances on them. They were doing all types of little stuff to try to figure out ways to undermine them. And they do that. There was another brother years ago, if y'all remember the Mac Lessons days. There was a brother who had a business out in Chicago, a very successful like bar restaurant. And this brother would call up and tell us about all the little janky things the city would do to sabotage his business, because his place was kind of in a white area, and Chicago is so very segregated. But it was kind of like downtown, I forgot where he said it was from. But the business was kind of in a white area, if I remember. But it was success. It was popping. And he told me they would just hit him up with noise ordinances, parking ordinances, um, these little weird impromptu inspections all the time, and doing these old "I'm white and I say so," giving them a low inspection grade, saying that the music was too loud and it's a nuisance. So they would do everything to sabotage this black man's business, even though it was successful. Folks, they get on code when it comes to us in order to sabotage our stuff. They get so on code against us, man. All over the country, we hear the same stories. Yeah. That's why it's so very important that, we really on the grassroots try to look out for some of these businesses. That's why, I did the travel show with Ism Radio. We were going around the country. Speaking of Chicago, we went to Chicago showcasing a lot of those black businesses, trying to give them shine. We went down to Louisiana, going to multiple black businesses, the black grocery store down there, showcasing black businesses. We went to Atlanta, going all around the city, showcasing the black businesses. I am such a big proponent of supporting black businesses around the country because I know how we get targeted. So we really need to go out of our way to support the local black businesses that's in our communities, man. You do not know what we go through and the brothers and sisters out there go through. I know Trust me. All right. We got a lot of folks in here. Speaking of business, y'all go to rootworkstyle.com to get that Rootwork deodorant, ladies and gentlemen. That's rootworkstyle.com. Let's get Jack in here. Jack, what's happening? I see you down there, Brooke. Jack, what's up, brother? Jack Trade. And Jack Trade ain't saying nothing. All right. Let's get Ramil Hurd. Ramil? What's up, Ramil?
Hey, my bad, Tariq. What's up?
Well, that's Jack. What's up, Jack?
Yeah, what's cracking, man? My dogs and shit was in here finna get down and shit, man. I had to put that shit on side. Hey,
Oh,
sit, cut it out.
oh,
Hey,
oh. What,
I gotta put them in a chokehold, man. Gotta
what
calm
kind of
down.
dogs you got?
What kind of dogs I got? I got two pits.
Oh, there you go. What
Yeah, yeah.
part of California are you in?
Oh man, I'm in SDC, man, Cali,
Oh,
San
I know you.
Diego.
I can hear the Cali accent. You down in San
Yeah,
Diego?
yeah. I'm in Dago right now.
There you go. What's on your mind tonight, bro?
What's good, man? Tariq, I mean, I'll be fucking with you, man, but I'm saying like some should just be. I be wondering sometimes, like, what's going on, man? Are we gonna get to the truth of it, or we gonna?
As far as what?
As far as the reparations, shit, like, let's be honest. I mean, I feel like a lot of niggas get on here with the goofy shit, and they don't got no political education, and niggas is like, it's 2024. The reason niggas ain't getting shit done and making shit move because it's you gotta bring something to the table, my nigga. The gays and everybody, they putting something in the pot. They don't just come empty-handed. Niggas is putting money behind the scenes. They got millions that they putting in the pot. That's why they able to move the needle and get shit done. Niggas is coming with an empty bag talking about reparations, and that ain't how it's gonna go. If niggas really want to get shit moving, we gotta bring something to the table. We know how it works now. We've been in this long enough now. This shit been happening since Malcolm, since Martin, and niggas ain't been able to get shit done because niggas is still coming empty-handed.
No. What we're bringing to the table, see, we are bringing some to the table. We're bringing a voting block. We put people in
But we
office.
don't got a voting block to read because niggas
Really,
don't galvanize and organize and strategize. Pop
bruh.
was trying to tell us that in the 90s, and niggas still ain't caught on. Come on, Tariq. We know what it is. Niggas is still sitting up here going at it with the tethers. I'm like, okay, we can go at it with the tethers, but the tethers, we got bigger fish to fry. You know what I'm saying? They small fry. You know, they're a Big Mac to a fry. You know what I'm saying? We can get at them later because we know they ain't got shit popping anyway. Not like that. You know what I'm saying? So if we really want to get shit popping, okay, what if we got a voting block? What's our block? Because black women don't even really see themselves part of black men as a voting block.
Okay, I don't know
You
where
know
you're
what I'm
going.
saying? They be talking about their own interests, and we like, bitch, fuck a black woman interest. It's a black interest. You know what I'm saying? We all in this shit together, whether you like it or not.
All right, bro. All right, thank you so much, Jack. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Okay.
Yes.
All right, Jack just wanted to vent. All right, yeah, Jack just that. Okay, that's venting. Okay, but yeah, because to say we don't have a voting block, that's just emphatically incorrect. All right, we have a voting block. We put people in office. People get in office because of us. Let's be very real. We put people in office. We are the only people who got a huge voting block. We vote as a block. We generally vote Democrat. White people, they can go either way. Hispanics, they can go either way, Republican or Democrat. You got a lot of Asian Republicans out here. You understand? We're the only group who, for the most part, vote one way. We vote as a block. We put people in office. People win and lose elections because of the black vote. So we have something that we bring to the table. We just have to demand something from the table and stand on it. That's what we got to do. We got to say, hey, give us something. We're giving you something. We're putting you in office. You're going to have to give us something in return. And the whole thing about arguing with tethers, we're not arguing with them. They call up, they get clowned real quick, and then we move on to the next thing. So yeah, I don't. Some of these straw man arguments, that's just kind of venting. That's kind of venting, and if you want to vent, go ahead and vent. But we're talking serious stuff over here. We're handling serious business over here. We got the conversation on reparations in the national lexicon. You see, and we're standing on that. We just got to keep on going. Let's get the big kahuna in the building.
What's up, Tariq? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's going on, brother?
All right. So I just got the Hidden Heroes book. My kid really commented on how good the book is so far. So thank you for putting that out. But
Absolutely. Go ahead.
yeah, what I really wanted to I just got off of Dwan B's live stream where he had Dr. Randy Short on there, and basically he was talking about how he was subverted by a Caribbean tether in college, and my heart sank when I listened to that, because the exact same scenario that happened to me. I went to a pretty elite institution in the United States, I mean, almost to the T. And this guy's probably 20, 30 years older than me, but the exact same thing happened to me from a Caribbean woman. So I was wondering if one day you'd ever do a stream or put out some kind of newsletter outlining like how the people sometimes close to us, or how these tethers in various institutions are going about subverting us, and what we can do to kind of work around or fight back against that. And I'll land my plane with that.
Yeah, great point. Yeah, I touch on that in my book, Foundation of Black American Race Baiter. I talk about the y'all get that book on Amazon, by the way, Foundation of Black American Race Baiter, or get it at officialfba.com. I talk about the job politics, how the white supremacists at the job will use certain tethers as buffers and bed wenches as buffers and as supervisors, and these people on the job be doing all types of little slick stuff to undermine you. I started seeing the tethers do this personally a little over a decade ago. That's why we started the delineation thing, because we saw tethers do these little things when we would do these protests, when many of the protests started happening after Trayvon Martin. That's when the new wave of protests and the so-called Black Lives Matter, because the term Black Lives Matter, that was kind of controlled opposition. It came from the Democrats, but it was really a grassroots Black empowerment, Black resistance movement. And I noticed when we would go around the country, going to these protests, going to these turn-ups with Mike Brown and Trayvon Martin and Freddie Gray, we would go to these places and we'd be out here connecting with the family and connecting with some of the grassroots folks, and there would be these weird people there, and the cameras would be following them around, and they would get a lot of camera time, and then they would try to denigrate some of us on the grassroots who's out here doing things. We saw these people attacking us. Not only did we see these weirdos in front of the camera, those of us who's out here for real, they start saying, hey, don't be listening to Tariq them. Don't be listening to them. They misogynistic. They don't like the black woman and they are homophobic. I'm like, what? We started asking, whose man is this? Whose woman is this? And the people in these local areas, they didn't know these people. Out in Ferguson, my good brother Darren Seal, who was a rider, one of our FBA brothers, and he unfortunately, they assassinated him. But he smacked up some of these folks, some of these weirdos out there trying to show up and take over and don't nobody know who they are. The streets were cleaning some of these folks up. We started to see these weirdos and nobody knew nothing about them. They just kind of came out of nowhere and nobody knew nothing about their backgrounds. Because FBAs, we know somebody who knows you. When you come around, we say, okay, whose man is this? Oh, that's my cousin's friend. Oh, okay, okay. Nobody could vouch for none of these people. Then when we started doing research on them, they had these weird last names. And we started doing some research on them, and we started seeing these little weird flags on their social media. That's these little foreign flags. So we started to see a lot of the undermining things that were happening with these protests, folks showing up to somebody died and then some goofballs show up and start twerking. Like, who the hell? Who are these people? Who in the hell are these people? Then we look at their social media. They got these foreign flags on them. So, okay, these folks they're not from here. They're like from immigrant backgrounds. And then they get out here, we're trying to stomp for justice to get some race soldiers arrested for harming a black person. They'll show up talking about Black Lives Matter and immigrants matter too. I'm like, what? Who are these folks? And trans lives matter and black trans matter. They would always come around diverting the energy into something else. And then they started putting these weird, big, buff ass studs on TV talking about they're the leaders of everybody. Like, who? Yeah, these women right here, Black Lives Matter, everybody that's out in the street, these three studs are the leaders of them. Like, oh. No, they're not. They're not nobody's damn leader. Nobody knows them. These big back bulldaggers ain't nobody's leader. They ain't my leader. What the hell are you talking about? So some of them had these tether backgrounds. So we started to see these people with these non-FBA backgrounds being pushed into our circles and our centers and all of our spaces, and they were undermining a lot of the real grassroots work we were doing. They were undermining us so that they can push these other agendas. So we started to see that stuff heavy within the last decade. That's why the delineation movement is so heavy right now. Even with reparations, when we first started talking about reparations, what did we see? We had Candace Owens, who has a tether background, up here talking about going to hearings, talking about what we shouldn't get. And we had that Coleman Hughes, who's a damn Puerto Rican who ain't even qualified for reparations, who worked with these think tanks, sitting up here talking about how we need to stop begging white folks and leave white folks alone, and we don't need reparations. So that's why we said, hey, we're going to start checking everybody's background, because a lot of these people who are undermining what we're doing, they are not of our lineage. And also with Obama's ass, we started to wake up to everybody. We started looking at everybody's background. Obama, we saw the benign neglect that Obama had against us, and Obama didn't do a damn thing for us. And we said, hey, wait a minute, this dude doesn't come from our lineage. He's a Kenyan. He's a Kenyan tether. He doesn't come from our lineage. So spiritually and culturally and lineage-wise, he felt no obligation to do anything for us because he ain't from our lineage anyway. That's why we have a disconnect with Obama right now. We don't flock with no Obama right now. We don't fool with him. No matter what they try to say with that DNC thing, making it seem like he's some kind of rock star, the black community don't rock with no damn Obama no more. We saw the trick bag for what it was. We saw what happened to us in the benign neglect under Obama. Obama, he ain't good on these FBA streets. You understand? We don't rock with him like that. So it's very important that we understand who's trying to represent us, because we don't need people who are not of our lineage trying to represent us, because there's always going to be a conflict. But anyway, man, let me get up out of here because I've been on here for a long time. Thank everybody for tuning in. Come down to the Hidden History Museum tomorrow. Speaking of Hidden History, we're open tomorrow all day, starting at 11 a.m. Come on down and get the book, Hidden Heroes from A to Z. Get your book for your babies, and get some other books and stuff down there. Also, go to rootworkstyle.com, go to microphonecheck.com, go to officialfba.com to get your FBA flags, and you can get my book, Foundational Black American Race Baiter, on